On February 4th, Time magazine published an article that publicly revealed the collusion among left-wing elites, politicians, and business leaders behind the recent presidential election. The author of the 6,500-word article is named Molly Ball. She said during the 2020 election, the collaboration behind the shadow campaign touched on all aspects of the election and were mostly carried out by the left. This shadow campaign successfully pressured social media to take harder line on so-called misinformation about the election using data-driven strategies. The author revealed that some of the participants in the secret history of the 2020 election want these things to be revealed. Although it sounds like a paranoid fever dream, here's what happened. An elite group of well-funded individuals spread across all sectors of society in ideological spheres. They work together behind the scenes to manipulate social perceptions, change rules and laws, and guide the media and control the flow of information. The author even clearly pointed out that Mike Podesser is the architect of the entire shadow campaign. Podesser is the political director of the most powerful union federation in the United States, called the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, or the AFL-CIO. The primary goal of this operation is to completely and permanently change the basis of the U.S. election. They receive financial support from wealthy businessmen like Mark Zuckerberg, who was donated at least $300 million through he and his wife's Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Podesser also used the death of George Floyd, which triggered a nationwide BLM protest in May 2020, and turned it into a political campaign. In the end, the executive vice president of the U.S. Chambers of Commerce, Neil Bradley, joined forces with Podesser and stated publicly that their goal is to achieve a fair election. The Time article concluded by arguing that their cooperation and the whole shadow operation was not to stop Trump from winning, but for a fair election. But one sentence in the article immediately invalidated this argument. The article says, at 11 p.m. on November 3rd, former President Trump was leading in the election. At a Zoom teleconference, Mike Podesser joined the meeting trying to reassure his colleagues. The Time article states, Mike Podesser showed the attendees a copy of data to convince his colleagues that he had the victory in his hand. He did not believe that former President Trump had a backup plan like they did on the election night. The U.S. media outlet, the National Pulse, concluded that the Times report actually made the whole conspiracy public. All big companies, big activist groups, big unions, and big media outlets joined together to target former President Trump. They even manipulated the media broadcast and information on social media. At this point, I am actually very shocked. Time magazine practically unveiled the entire truth about the election. The author even revealed the name of the chief designer behind the conspiracy, as well as the details of the conversations that took place on election night.